wasn't in my mind, it wasn't in my plan, it wasn't in my publisher's plan. But I woke up one morning, as you alluded to the sad news of several days ago, to a massacre of innocent people that had occurred just miles across the border from where we live. It suddenly occurred to me that I'd been living in paradise and enjoying it, but in terms of my work, ignoring maybe some of the darker things that were happening around. But I started reading books with titles like The Problem of Evil. What is evil? What is it? And I could never read my way to an answer of what happened on that day. I guess as the writers in the room know, friends here, that when you can't read your way to an answer, maybe you try to start writing your way to an answer, and that launched this odyssey, you know. It was never in my mind to do that.
Entiendo que cuando trabajó en esto, investigó, por ejemplo, usted se relacionó con gente del mundo del narcotráfico.
Yeah, sure. Well, in terms of the drug trafficking people themselves, I started small. And I went to the neighborhoods where that tends to occur on a small scale, and I became furniture, you know what I mean? I just hung around until people would just look around and go, oh no, it's not that writer guy, it's just part of the landscape, you know? And then I started to hear stories from people, and then someone would say, well, you need to talk to him, or you need to talk to her, and then you gradually sort of escalate. I never talked to a cartel leader, certainly, way beyond what I had access to. In many ways, the other side of the coin was harder to access. The police side, if you will, the government side, was more difficult to talk to, more difficult, A, to get to, and more difficult to get answers from, than the drug trafficking side. What was it like? Surreal, you know. But I wasn't without experience in that. As a PI, I've sat in prisons like this, me to you, talking to people who murdered people, you know, cutting deals with them. And so it wasn't perhaps as strange to me, you know, as it might otherwise have been.
Pero veías, por ejemplo, que iban armados.
Oh, yeah.
Evidently.
So was I, too. We all showed up heavy and vernacular. I sometimes worked with backup. As a PI, you know, I often had to hire security people for jobs. But then gradually we dropped that. I think human contact is human contact. And I really believe that people want to tell their stories if they think that you will sit and listen and try to get it right. You know, you've experienced this as a journalist, I'm sure.
Esto es absolutamente cierto, esto es la verdad del periodista. En realidad es muy fácil que casi todo el mundo te cuente la vida. Esto es una de las cosas que constatas en la que llevas 3 meses trabajando como periodista. Todo el mundo quiere contar su vida. Lo que pasa es que yo, en fin, un narcotraficante, supongo que habría que hacerlo con cierta prudencia. ¿Por qué decidiste usar la tercera persona del presente? Todo pasa en presente.
All of a sudden I was just really bored with myself. I looked at the writing and thought, I'm bored, the reader's going to be bored, I hate it, I'm quitting. And then I thought, well, I'll just write to amuse myself. And I started writing in the present tense. I'm a little afraid to stand up here because, but to me it's a big difference. Yeah, because for me, writing in the regular sort of omniscient third-person past tense was kind of like looking down at a table, yeah, and seeing this, and then you see this, and then you see this, and then you see this, and you describe it, and that's okay. I just wasn't doing it very well anymore. But writing in the present tense, it wasn't like I saw this and then I saw this. It's like, oh, there's that. Wow, then there's that. Then there's that. And it felt fresher to me and more immediate. And I felt that I was discovering the words and the images instead of kind of sitting back and planning them. They were happening to me. and I like that a lot more. So now, for the most part, that's how I write, unless I want to get that distance for myself and the reader, and then I'll go back to that other voice. Does that make any sense? Do I sound just crazy?
Es verdad que había unos capítulos que aparecía el subcomandante Marcos que luego desaparecieron de la redacción.
That was a long argument with my editor, frankly, that I lost. I won most of them, but I lost that one. It was a mistake, I think, to have taken that out. And I think, looking back on it with a little distance, I wish I'd insisted. But it's funny. The book was edited by the editor of The Godfather, and I had quit writing the book at one point, and then got on the phone with him from Paris and said, "I quit. Go to die. Don't try to call me. Don't." And eventually we met in New York, and we sat up all night with the manuscript of Power of the Dog, which was thick. And we argued all night and edited the book by hand until dawn. And I lost that battle. And he just kept saying, it just slows the book. There's just too much book here. You've got to take something out. And so that was lifted out of it.
Como siempre, las firmas serán allá al final, por favor.
Would you ever publish those pages about Comandante Marcos?
Yeah, I think so. I think I would like maybe at some point in time to publish those pages. Maybe it's in a different format. Maybe it comes out in some journal or a book of short stories or something like that. It's a novella. But I'd like to. If I can find them. I gotta tell you, I don't know where they are.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.